Go with Jahan Dotson, who's got the touchdowns on the team, who had 7 touchdowns last year in only 12 games. The guy who in the red zone found himself open, he's seeing not the top coverage. He's going to probably be the one that's more likely open. And
he was extremely efficient.
Yeah, very efficient, but not so efficient that he can't repeat it. That's the thing. It's like he was so efficient because he's a good receiver. His routes are unbelievable, and he's got great hands. So when he gets open in the red zone in touchdown opportunities, and listen, touchdowns are king in football. It's a 6-point play. If you're playing in PPR and your guy gets a catch for 10 yards, that's a 2-point play. He catches that in the end zone, it's an 8-point play. I want the guy that's going to get more 8-point plays for me right there. And I think that's going to be Jahan Dotson on this team. So to me, I haven't targeted McLaurin. Probably in like 2 of my mock drafts out of the 60 I've done already, I've taken McLaurin. But it's mostly because the range of the wide receivers that he's in that 4th round, because he's going about 48 overall, like I said, right? Is like you have DJ Moore that's going 55th overall, Christian Watson, Jerry Jeudy, DeAndre Hopkins right after him. And then you have Kirk in 2 rounds later. So like to me, I'd rather go with something else in that 4th round, like maybe take a chance on a tight end, maybe take a chance on a quarterback, or take a chance on a running back in the 4th round if I already went receiver in the rounds earlier. Because I just like, if that guy's going to be my wide receiver 2, there's other wide receiver 2s I like out there. And I definitely don't want him as my wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather reach and get some of the guys that are underneath him for sure. Like I would take DJ Moore over him. And that's where I'm drafting. If I'm not gonna, if I'm drafting at one of the ends and one of the turns, and he's my second pick, and I'm not gonna touch the draft board for 20 picks or something, and he's in like kind of that next grouping, I'd probably take DJ Moore over him just on upside. Yeah. I would agree with you. I think Dotson is the guy to own here. I really do like Dotson. His ADOT was 14th in the league amongst wide receivers. His yards per catch, or his fantasy points per catch, was 6th in the league. He had a really, really efficient year, and this is an argument I can make for both McLaurin and Dotson, because I do think that they're going to be behind in games and they're going to need to throw. I think that they're going to be there's a lot of garbage time points there because they're going to be playing from behind, and I mean Dotson was king of that, right? Last year, how many garbage time touchdowns did Dotson have? And it was, it's great from a fantasy perspective, not great from, the Washington Commanders perspective, but, both those receivers should have numbers at the end of the year, even though the team might not do well because they're going to be behind in games. So, the teams aren't going to start running the ball in the 4th quarter when they're down 2 scores against the Eagles. They're not going to.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say Jahan Dotson last year was number 3 in fantasy points per target versus man coverage as well.
Yep.
Now, we talked about how many of these teams they're going to play have man coverage corners. And
but he's getting the number 2.
And exactly. He's not even getting the number 1, which is, again, why I like him. So to me, he only had 6 drops on the season, too. That's a great number you want from him. He had a 50% contested catch rate. So for a guy his size, that's not bad either. I'm trying to see if I could find his the amount of times he ran out of the slot, but I couldn't figure that out earlier. And then it's not significant enough. But that being said, like I said, and you said it too,
in the league, 121 snaps out of the slot.
Yeah, I see it right there. Slot snaps versus route run. Yeah. So to me, you said it and you put the nail on the head. He's not facing the top coverage. We already talked about how difficult these cornerbacks are going to be. Dotson's going to be the guy that's going to be open more times than McLaurin.
We got Dotson here.
We got Dotson. And then you said Curtis